All right. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's workout. We are on the heels of the Super Bowl, or the Superb Owl, whichever way you want to read it. I prefer the second. But we are doing sports themed scripts because why the heck not? We're just going to go ahead and dive into it with Zach and Alex. Whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Uh, they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. Uh, but I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right. Zach, who's the next homeowner?
Ooh.
Yes, you have your
Roddy.
choice. Okay, Roddy is going to be the next homeowner. And Alex, who's the next HOA rep?
James.
All right, whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, about those plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Wait. Is it the face mask? Because if that's the deal breaker, I can always switch it to a one bar kind like the kickers wear.
Mm, I think the concern is the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about the money, then they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as 49 a game. $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout hu- throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of season ticket holders. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All righty then. Roddy, who is the next homeowner?
Hmm, Hayden.
Is it because of my profile picture?
No, it's
All
because you're
right.
new.
Nice. What am I, homeowner?
Yes, you're going to be homeowner.
Yes,
And James, who is the next HOA rep?
you're up, Squirrel Boy. BBJ.
Okay, I know Jay has to leave really, really soon, so I don't know if
Oh,
he's going
okay.
to be the best choice right at this
Okay.
moment. Like, we will have him on later, but
Well,
he's got to leave really, really, really soon.
okay. Brian.
All right, Brian, it is.
Understand.
All right, whenever you
Homeowner?
two are ready, go for it.
Am I the HOA rep or homeowner?
You are the HOA rep.
Okay, all right, here we go. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geostatic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
Oh, I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Um, they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that as an accident, but I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try, go Niners.
All right. Moving it right along. So, Hayden, who is the next homeowner?
I was just looking at the name. We'll go Cassidy. That's the first one
Okay.
that caught my eye.
And Brian, who's the next HOA rep?
Uh, the voices by Michael guy. Not
Okay.
you, Michael, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Voices by Michael Mike. All right. Voices by Michael Mike. You will be the HOA rep
All right.
whenever you two are ready.
Shoot, I accidentally closed out the script. One sec. Okay. All right,
So that I'm
here we
the
go.
HOA rep, right?
I think you're the HOA rep.
Yes, that is correct, Mikey. You are
Okay.
you are the HOA rep on this one.
Gotcha. Just making sure. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like the 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
The face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, it's just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
I go Niners.
Awesome. Okay, so Cassidy, who's the next homeowner?
Let's see. Let's go with R.
Okay. And Mike, who is the next HOA rep? Oh, okay. R can't read right now, so no problem. So yeah, I guess it's between me and George. So yeah, Cassidy, out of the two of us, who's the next homeowner?
Um, I guess. I guess you can go, Michael.
Okay.
Then I choose George for the other.
Thank you. Thank you. It reminds me of
Actually,
school.
I feel like an idiot. It's Jorge. Your name
It's
is Jorge.
either George works, but
Eh.
you know if you want to put a little spice on the Jorge, then that works.
Well,
too.
I mean,
Can you
that's
go
your
by
name.
Gee? I have a friend named
J-Dog.
Jorge, and that's what I call him.
J Dog is if you're gonna call me by not my name.
J Dog. What? No, no
J-Dog.
more Jorbay.
Oh yeah, Jorge works too.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
I go by many names. All right. So am I the HOA rep?
You are the HOA rep.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. Geez, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners. All right. Cold read's over. Let's go ahead and talk about the script itself, shall we? Let's do some breakdown. So again, I'm going to highly encourage you to open up something for you to take some notes on for yourself, whether you like good old-fashioned pen and paper, or you prefer something like Google Docs or Notes, the notepad for whatever reason. I don't know. Whatever you're going to use it, because we're going to talk about things now. So let's start with the first character. Tell me about the HOA rep. Oh, first things first. Why do I keep missing? I've missed this question the last two times. Microphone technique. What are we using on this one? Voiceover or voice under? As a brief
Over.
primer. Yeah, I probably should have explained that before. As a brief primer, voiceover is a technique where you're more upfront on the microphone. It's where your sound is more of your voice is more of like a key character in what's going on. Whereas voice under is you're trying to redirect people's attention to something that's going on screen. So let's just we'll roll that back now. Microphone technique. What are we using? Over. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say this sounds like a voiceover segment because, like, we're basically playing two. Well, okay, all scripts are character scripts, as you've told me before, but, like, it's not just, like, narration over images.
Mm-hmm.
The voices are kind of the focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although,
Yeah,
I
even
do
if there
have.
were visuals, it would be. Oh, sorry.
Be
I just have a-
complimentary.
Go ahead, Cassidy.
I just have a little question.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like a script for a commercial where there would be actors on screen.
It could be. This could also just be audio only, so radio or streaming services.
This could be airable for radio because
Yeah.
This is definitely the kind of commercial out here on Pandora.
Yeah. Especially if they're sending this to voice actors, then this is definitely going to be something that is with no visual component. So does that make a little bit more sense, Cassidy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this would be voiceover because you are playing a central character. Like your performance is what people need to pay attention to. So you can be as upfront on the microphone as you want to and as expressive as you want to. So that being said, I voted under. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, this is fully theatrical. The two characters are in front of you right now, and you're seeing their interaction. Because that is the case, both of their performances are the most important part of the script. This isn't going to be paired with other visuals that could redirect from what's happening in the scene to something else. This isn't like a car commercial or some kind of service commercial. This is definitely more of a theatrical style commercial. So you're going to be talking to somebody else. Have fun with them. Now, let's go ahead and break down the characters a little bit. As I learned yesterday, bet on the over. Just do some analysis, man. Ask some questions. All right, so let's talk about it. Tell me about the HOA rep. What do we know about them and their personality? Who are they?
They are nice, patient, understanding, and reasonable.
They are everything they are described to be.
They're just doing
How
their
quaint.
job.
Okay, just doing their job.
Professional
That's actually
as possible, but also seem to have a history with the homeowner as well
Mhm,
already,
Yeah.
at least for a year.
Seen some folks in the Twitch chat saying that this HOA rep has a hard time saying no.
yeah.
Definitely
on.
redirecting blame. It's consistently they. They are not going for it. They are not going to approve it. Even though this person is a part of the organization that is turning down the house edition.
Okay.
So deflective.
Deflective. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Instead of just saying no or telling them that they can't do it, they're like trying to give other like reasons apart from them saying no. Or
No,
sorry,
definitely.
them as in Hoa.
Yeah.
Hoa rep.
Mhm.
The deflectiveness definitely adds into the idea that there's a personal history, a personal relationship between the two characters. It's very like, look, man, I know you're my buddy, but my boss won't allow this.
I mean, honestly, if I was a Hoa rep, I would also be hesitant to interact with somebody building a 2-story football helmet on the lawn. Personally.
Okay.
I think it's hilarious, though. So,
Zach, you're going to say?
Yeah, I'd say at very least they have constant interaction. Even if they're not friends, they want to not lose the rapport they have.
Even if they're just a neighbor, you don't want to be your neighbor's enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I writing
Unless
here?
you do.
There are some people out there.
I don't necessarily get like a whole lot of aggression, but what I am going to say is maybe they're like sick of it because this happened last year, and this could be a repetitive behavior. So you can play that up a little bit.
you know
Yeah,
what?
I mean, if we're throwing everything at the wall, you could have the HOA rep be like, just a little bit intimidated or scared by the homeowner as well.
Yeah, maybe. I'm getting a lot of unsurety because I think they understand that the homeowner is just, one of those fans. They're one of those fans. So for me, I would add in unsure.
I mean, the homeowner didn't build the helmet and the Niners lost. So,
There's something to
coincidence?
that.
Too soon.
There's
I
something to
think
that.
not.
Too soon.
Again, I apologize deeply to all the sports ball fans. This was I chose
Too
this
soon.
Apology not forgiven.
I guess maybe instead of too soon, it's a little too late.
Yeah, too late. Oh man. All right. Let's get ourselves back on track. All right. What else? What else can we tell about the HOA rep specifically?
They don't seem very argumentative, and they want to just kind of, sorry, let me rephrase that. They're non-confrontational, and it seems
Yes.
like they don't want to stay in this conversation.
Non-confrontational and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Sorry, chat. Got to be faster than that.
I swear, when I'm trying to write fast, I have no idea what I'm doing with these letters. Anyway, anything else? Thank you very much for that. Yes, indeed. Okay, so I think we've got a decent overview of the HOA rep. Let's talk about the homeowner. So, who are they? What can we tell about them and their character?
I
They
put
are
in chat.
fact,
Go ahead, Roddy.
they are in fact one of said season ticket holders.
I put in
But
chat.
like actually,
They are
The,
large-minded.
They are large-minded. I put in chat that they're a Ted Lasso type. Like, really, really hyped up about it. They're very excited and very excitable. They're the biggest fan,
Okay.
and notably, they are optimistic and upbeat.
They're confident.
Optimistic,
Say
upbeat, confident.
extroverted.
Confident enough to build that.
Will we count extroverted?
I don't know the best way to put this. They are a zealot. They just the 49ers can do absolutely no wrong. They deserve to be enshrined in their yard.
I mean,
Clearly.
that's certainly a way to look at it. Like the
Does
Homer
not take
Simpson.
no for an answer.
Does not take no for an answer. I like that.
I want to say in the direction it says they actually sound pretty cheerful up until the point they realize they will not be able to build their addition. From then on, their tone is one of grim realization. And I'm inclined to. There's no way that I would not give a B take on this.
Okay.
We both know they're building this.
Yeah, it's going to happen regardless. I mean, everybody knows.
What about a one-story helmet?
Oh.
What if it's just the garage?
Yeah, exactly. Just
Just
replace the
drive into
garage
the
with a
helmet.
helmet.
What if I put you in the
That
backyard
would be
with a helmet
so
on your
cool,
head?
though.
Yeah, and instead of it like having a door, like the entire front just comes up.
Yeah, the whole face gate mask.
Face gate mask. All right. Anything else that we can come up with? Again, we're trying to throw the kitchen sink here, and I want you guys to be taking notes on specifically what you think about each of these characters, because that's what I want to hear before you start your reads.
They
a
are
little defensive.
dramatic.
Dramatic and defensive. Okay.
He has a drive. Like I don't know if passionate is the right word of saying
Yeah.
it, but he has that drive. Yeah. I don't see
Okay.
stubbornness. I don't see stubbornness in the homeowners. Just looking at the script, but just like he understands, but he's still determined to achieve his goal. That's what I'm.
Just gotta make it happen. We gotta have that geodesic dome.
In
I
that,
have a
you know,
dream.
In that
I
same vein
actually,
of not being stubborn, it
actually-
was like, oh, sorry, you can go.
You go ahead.
Okay, they'll go. Kind of in the same sense of like stubborn, not being stubborn. It's like they're a fixer. Like they think they can like provide a solution to everything. So,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
oh, is it the face mask? I'll do this. Oh, if it's about money, then I'll do this. And then it's like, oh, but that fire marshal thing doesn't even count. And then at the end, they realize they can't fix it, which is the most crushing type of defeat of all.
For actually all those reasons, I was actually going to say that the homeowner, I also think, is deflective as well, because they're just giving reason after reason after reason as to why they should be able to do this, whereas the horror rep is giving reason after reason after reason as to why they can't do it. So it's kind of, the yin and the yang of both spectrums of that deflectiveness kind of trait.
Okay. All right. I like it. We've all got some ideas. So let's go ahead and talk about this interaction here. So it does say in the direction that the homeowner is supposed to be optimistic and upbeat. They have a mistake. Let's see. They actually sound pretty cheerful all the way up until the point they realize they will not be able to build their addition. So where should we make that emotional turn? Where does this script go from the homeowner being, yes, we're gung ho 100%, we're diving headlong into this, to just being like, okay, well, crap, we can't. Where does that happen specifically?
But I understand.
But I understand is where the turn happens. Okay.
After that, they're saying build the helmet dome, so they've accepted it at that point. And before that, they're saying the fire marshal ruled that an accident, so they are giving one last little pushback.
Okay.
I feel like it starts with the fire marshal sentence. Like, yes, it's the last ditch effort, but they already know. Like, that's a point of shame in their lives, and so it just goes downhill during the fire marshal sentence.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's where it starts.
I agree with Zach. That's a really good point.
Okay.
I would say in between, like you take after the fire marshal sentence, you get like a small pause, and then that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, but I understand, but after the fire marshal sentence.
Okay.
I don't know. The way that I read it, it's like kind of I read it as like sort of like a whiny child when like they don't get something they want. They're like, but the fire marshal ruled that an accident. So I think
Exactly.
that's where it starts. Because that's where the tone changes, but the topic changes after that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It was said. We got a note from chat that fire marshal is anger. Um, I don't think that really applies with this interaction that they're having because again, the homeowner is being really positive about this whole thing, and nowhere does it say that at any point they get angry with anything that happens. And I think that would kind of absolutely ruin the vibe that you would have going throughout the read because it's this perpetually optimistic person trying to drive their point home with this like unsteady, unsure, not very confident person trying to get their point in, and then suddenly you have somebody reacting with anger. It kind of throws a wrench into the whole emotional dynamic here. So you can get a little bit negative where it's like, oh, come on, the fire marshal ruled that an accident, right? Like you can argue your case a little bit, but I would caution you from diving into an angry response.
Just to play devil's advocate, unless we have the idea that the HOA rep is deflecting because this homeowner is known to get a little aggressive.
Okay, but then we
think-
start building an entirely different dynamic here that's no longer fun to be in. It's
Fair enough.
uncomfortable. And this is, I mean, this is a commercial. Commercials are supposed to be fun and engaging, right? Like, there are no bad days in commercial
No,
land, right?
no bad days.
There are no
Yep.
bad days. So,
I think-
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the other problem is that if you use anger for the homeowner, that is what shuts down the commercial and not
Yeah.
the resolution.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As soon as you introduce anger into the whole thing, it's just like, okay, but this is getting a little bit weird.
Actually, the no bad days is why I would want to disagree with the tone of grim realization.
Mhm.
I would do that for an A take, but as a B take, which I might put first, I would definitely play that last bit instead of as being, oh, okay, I won't do it. It would be, you know what, I won't do it because you say all that, I won't do it, but I know history is going to prove me right.
Okay, you could play off like grim realization in various different ways. If you start off really positively, if your emotional space is really, really high up, and this homeowner is really, really gung ho about this whole thing and really fighting their case, um, it could sound like grim realization when that emotional space drops towards the end, right? So it doesn't have to actually be like this grim sort of, but I understand. Like this perfect defeat, right? It's just a deceleration. Somebody finally pumped the brakes on your thoughts, and it's just like, all right, fine. So a little bit of that deflation can go a long way, especially if you play your homeowner character in a slightly higher emotional state.
I personally think I kind of agree with what Alex was saying about the
Mhm.
grim realization. Like the word, like the term grim, I think that's just like a poor term to explain what you're trying to portray. Like maybe
Yeah, absolutely.
disappointed is a
Mhm.
better way to explain the homeowner's kind of mindset because
Right, right.
they didn't just lose like a loved one. I mean, maybe they did. Maybe, like, they're a pretty big Niners
Maybe.
fan.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Maybe that helmet is to commemorate something.
Yeah, but on the first read, I definitely kind of felt more of like just from the cold take. I wanted to put like disappointment into that, not like
Mhm.
grim or despair, or
Yeah.
because this isn't D&D character. It's not dying or anything. It's not the
Yeah, no, this is just and that's
no,
that's
my
the thing.
helmet.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People, directors specifically, are going to do their like the script writers and the directors and all the legal people are going to do their best to try to communicate specifically what it is they're going for, and they may use terms that make sense to them but don't necessarily make sense in context. So, I'm also going to caution you that if you're doing this as an audition, there is no real need to stick like 100% directly to the directions at all times, because your main goal is to stand out. It's to be heard. It's to be understood. It's to be listened to. And the best way to do that is to just have fun with it. It's just be authentically you and make some clear choices with it. So even if it, might clash a little bit with what it says there, if you can catch the ear of the casting director, then you can worry about getting more specific about what it is that they're asking you for, because after you're hired, yeah, you want to give the client what they want, not what you want. So I would say to your response, Alex, I 100% do not disagree with you, and I think you should just go ahead and go with the choice that makes the most sense to you to play up more of the fun of the script.
Cool.
All right. Is there anything else in the script that seems like we might need to break it down a little bit? Anything that might be a little bit unclear, unsure, anything at all?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, just maybe something that you might want to dig into a little bit more, like a little bit more about their overall dynamic, how the conversation is supposed to flow, specific techniques we can use here or there.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one. An
Mhm.
awkward section for me. The
Ooh.
homeowner, well, if this is just about the money, period, they don't have to worry, period. It seems very broken up when
Mhm.
I feel it should be a little bit more flow.
Yeah, you could have a little bit of fun with that. The way that I'm thinking about it now that you point that out, and is doing something more like, well, if it's just about the money, I mean, they don't have to worry, right? You're sort of brushing off the initial pushback, and then just kind of having fun with it. Sticking your ground. You could do that. I'm just throwing out an option. But yeah, if you
Yeah,
want to, if
I
you want
think
to
you
add
do have to
commas
change it
in
in some
there,
way, otherwise it's
If I may,
yeah.
sometimes whenever you receive a copy, sometimes you can just play around with the words that fit for you. So um, when I was voicing a commercial for some ATM machine, uh, they would like, for example, oh, okay, they would say the company's name and then the machine. And for a second take, whenever I thought, you know what, I'm going to give them a second take. This is how. Uh, here's another take for this one, and then just put a just spice it up a little bit. And sometimes writers don't really think about like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. So if you give them different options when you're reading a script, you don't have to follow it in the script all the time. But if you give them the take that's written, perfect. If you want to give them a take that of your own, that's also a good option as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Another thing that I actually noticed with that second to last homeowner line, the really long one, um, don't rush right through it. Um, because if you do, the paragraph doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. So give things some time and space. Give your character some room to um, to feel their emotions and to kind of go through a little emotional journey there. Um, is there anything else that anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about? Okay, cool. I was waiting for that. No. No. Anyway.
Oh, is she controlling that on side?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Carissa is the producer, and she handles the TMC mod account, and she
Gotcha.
will utilize that soundboard to her discretion whenever she wants. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the reading order again, and we are gonna go ahead and go for it. All right. So, Zach, once again, you are the homeowner. Alex, you are the HOA rep. Give us a little insight on what you're thinking about these characters so we know what kind of feedback to give you. And then, whenever you guys are ready, let's hear it.
Any ideas, Zach?
yeah, at least for the homeowner, I'm sticking with the very, very fervent, like, I know zealot is again the way I'm thinking of. They are just absolutely faithful and full of faith toward the 49ers. Very, very upbeat, and they feel almost like it's their duty to represent in the best way they can. So even when they get distracted, they come right back with, hey, you know what? The most important thing is the small things, focusing and screaming along.
Sounds
so you
good.
can't get them down for long.
I
Yep.
think that'll go pretty well with my take on the landlord from The Big Lebowski, who is a little too afraid to ask for the rent money when it's already the 10th. And he's just sort of a hippie who kind of just accidentally fell into this HOA rep position. So I'm pretty comfortable with those two. You ready?
Cool.
All right.
I'm ready.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet, it's not such a good idea.
Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it out to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is gonna have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if it's just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Fire Marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
All right, opening it up. I thought you guys actually did really well sticking to your characters. One major thing that I noticed though, Zach, is the helmet line, that first homeowner line. You got to know what you got to sound like you know what you're talking about here. Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear. There's kind of like a phantom comma there. The 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Does that because you're describing, of course, a completely different design for the helmet.
Right.
So in fact, I'm going to go ahead and mark in a little phantom comma right there. Because again, you got to sound like you're knowledgeable. All right, opening it up. What did you guys think?
I like the characters. This might be a hot take, but I think it can be a little faster.
Okay.
A little snappier here and there.
Yeah, I have to agree. The pacing needs to. I feel like it needs to be a smidge more flowy in those parts. But other than that, your reads were really good. Yeah.
I think the speed of the second half was really good. I think, especially that last line, just nailed it with the character's personality. But you know, I think the first half was just, you know, good, but it might have just been like the pacing might have just been a product of, you know, not having this script perfected.
All right, so we can work on pacing. Zach got some great comedic timing in that last line, but we need to speed the whole thing up a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to summarize that. Looks like it's just faster, and make sure that first homeowner line sounds like the homeowner knows what he's talking about.
That's why I picked this, so I could pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Let's do it.
Oh,
All right,
sorry, hold
let's
on.
go.
Before you guys go, I need to reword what I said because it didn't. I don't think I explained it well. I don't think it's about this, like the speed I thought was good. I think it's just more about the smoothness. and just like the polish,
Okay.
if that makes sense. But otherwise, I think
The-
the pacing of the second half was
Do you
good.
mean time between lines? Like the time that it takes for Zach to jump in after I go and me to jump in after Zach goes?
Hang time.
I assume that time
Yeah, that's a
between
good
lines. I kind of
clarification.
just I kind of just ignored that because Discord and latency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Hard to
sorry, not that. I
respond
mean like
instantly.
in the lines.
Okay.
Because
Right,
okay,
the time
cool.
in between can be cut in post if this was an audition or
Yeah.
a recording.
Oh,
right.
I hear what you're meaning. Okay.
All right. Same thing, but better. Whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if it's a deal breaker, I can always switch it out to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of that read?
Really
we got a
good.
money in the chat. We got some thumbs up.
I was about to break the Alex rule.
You were. Good thing you caught yourself.
Question for
I-
Alec.
Oh, what's up, Brian?
So the line that says they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year. What were you aiming for on that line there?
So it's just getting the bad news out there, ripping the Band-Aid off for the first sentence. They're just not going for the addition. And then after that, it's, I know that I have to tag this on, but I'm really not sure how to do it. And so
Okay.
the second line is leaning into uncertainty.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay, no, I hear it now. I think on that line there, especially after what happened last year, I would put an inflection on it, especially. It's like especially after what happened last. Just a little reminder that this is just my direction, by the way.
Sure.
Especially after what happened last year, because when you put that inflection on especially, and then put that wave down, if that makes any sense. Sorry, my
Yeah.
brain just works so weirdly.
It's fine. The adjusting the pitch so that part stands out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like if you put especially, if you stand that out in that one, it'll pop up a little bit more. Because that way, be like when somebody's listening to you, is like, oh, what happened last year? And then that's when the homeowner would be like, yeah, the fire marshal ruled out by an accident. So yeah, you wanna put a story into that line, so it'll get the listener listening when they are listening to this commercial.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Something that I did want to point out on that line, if you were going for like tearing the Band-Aid off, it sounded more like you were just defeated. They're
Yeah.
not going for the audition or for the addition. Audition. Look at that.
I've been doing
stuck in
that
this
this
word
whole
for too
time.
long. Yeah. For the addition. So tearing the Band-Aid off is going to be really uncomfortable for this person.
Yeah.
Like they're going to do it in fits and starts. They're not going for the addition. Right? Like you're uncomfortably standing your ground on that point.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like to hear. I think that could add to your character a little bit more.
Okay.
Just as a different flavor for it.
Okay.
One
Anything
more
else?
read, and then you guys are going to swap roles.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Why
Sorry, I've actually
swap
got
art?
something for
Woo!
that line as well.
Man, everything
think-
is just for that one line.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a pivotal line. It's important.
Sure.
I think Brian had a great direction on this on the second half of that, but for the first one, I think more reluctance is better. Like, yeah, they're not going for the addition. Um, or sorry, that sounded a bit too forward. But if you do you understand what I
Sure.
mean?
Okay, so
Like mixing some
reluctancy,
reluctance into there.
uncertainty.
Exactly.
Okay. And then fixing the pitch on especially. I've had that italicized the entire time, but I haven't been hitting it quite right. Okay, so I can do that. Do we want to do the whole script or just that one line?
Shoot it right now.
Let's get the lead in from, well, if this is just about the money. So start from there to the end.
Sure. You ready, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Okay.
Hard not to just keep going. Whew.
I actually said through to the end. I don't know why you stopped, but we'll go ahead and stop there.
Oh, because I didn't hear that.
Oh, well, look who's paying attention. Way to go.
Brian, did you get what you wanted?
You're almost there.
Almost.
Oh, almost. Okay, what's
You're
missing?
almost there. Okay, because you had addition and last year the same tone. Does that make any sense? They're not going for the addition, especially what happened last year. You hear that?
Okay, I thought that I had brought especially up, but
I here, maybe try this one. They're not going for the addition, especially what happened last year. You know, just have that little more brighter tone on the last year, if that makes
let me
sense.
just try that line flat out.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
There you go.
That's
There.
what you wanted?
That's what I wanted. There you go.
All right.
That's a take. That'll work. And especially fits with the character that you decided to go with, too. So,
Yeah.
I think you guys did a fantastic job. Now swap roles.
Cool.
Let me know what you guys are thinking for your new characters, and then from the top.
Yeah. So, Zach, my idea for homeowner here is it not to just pull another character that already exists, but it's Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. All right. For me then, the HOA rep, I really just hate confrontation. People voted on this, and I'm just the sorry sucker who right now has to give the news, and I really don't want to.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident, but I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know what? Throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of those reads?
Oh, man. I stumbled all the way through that.
You did fine, honestly.
You were blasted.
Honestly,
Lost in the sauce.
if I was directing this one, I would switch your roles, just like this one, because I have you guys have different. The reads were really unique, and I really enjoyed those. So
Yeah, I like you guys in these roles a lot.
All right.
For the homeowner part near the end, this might just be a different read I want to hear. I want like more self-righteousness when you go like, you know what? Throughout human history, like something crazy.
Get a
like
little theatrical with it.
that. Like you can't hold me down.
You know, I can do that.
no,
All right, Zach, lead him in with the HOA rep line. And then you're going to go through to the end. I'm being clear on this now. To the end. So they're not going for the audition through try go Niners. Through the end.
Through the end, everyone. They're not going for the audition. Especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try go Niners!
yes,
I love that so much.
that was so good. I
I
love
had
that.
to bite on my finger to not laugh at the season ticket holder. Jeez.
That was so good.
Yeah, Alex, I loved the instant the fire marshal ruled that an accident. I loved that. I lost it right at that point.
Like,
It's such a good choice.
mm-hmm.
You know
like,
what? Grim realization is out the window. This
Yeah.
is how it goes now.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Brian, what did you say?
yeah. You've heard of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Okay,
that show.
so that literally the homeowner reminds me. It's like, you know what? But I understand. But I'm gonna pick myself up. You know, that's the exact approach that I was thinking for that line. So
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No,
Let's go
I
to the
think
next
you
group.
guys have done a solid, fantastic job. So we're
Alright.
going to go ahead and move it right along to Roddy as the homeowner and James as the HOA rep. Whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
All right, Roddy, how you playing your homeowner?
I'm not just a season ticket holder. I am the season ticket holder. I go to every game, home and away. I've been a die-hard fan since I was a child. So, if I could, I would have made a 3-story helmet. Yeah. That's how that's how I'm gonna try to play this.
All right. So HOA rep is the homeowner's next door neighbor, friendly but not a close friend. Just trying to break the bad news without, while still keeping the peace because he's got to live next to the guy.
Mhm.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for the addition on your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic home dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's the deal breaker, I can always switch it to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to give the negative. Let me try that again. I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, then they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
But that was the The fire marshal ruled that as an accident, but I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout history, you know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
How about try Go Niners?
All right, opening it up. What did y'all think of that one?
I missed the first half, so I don't want to.
Oh no.
Yeah. This was
Gosh
small,
dang
but
it, man! Seriously,
sorry.
you
I'm
just
sorry.
unmuted to let them know that you missed the first half. Way to go!
Well, you know, someone has to break the silence.
I don't know. I kind of like just leaving awkward silence in the air. It just makes things.
Where's the
really,
cricket?
really
Where's the
fun.
cricket soundboard?
Yes.
We don't have access to it.
we're talking. This is small, but you said $49. The homeowner to me reads as someone who's really excited. They'd use like a different word, less formal than dollars. So, like, I'm not sure if you want to make a note there for specifically that, but
Yeah, $49.
$49, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, with the homeowner, Roddy, I
All right.
want some more excitement and commitment so that the turn is a little bit more pronounced.
Where specifically would you suggest?
Fair enough. In the first half, so is it the face mask as low as $49 a game, and then to be able to drop it down from there to the fire marshal. Consider that
Okay.
an accident.
All right.
Question for Adi.
Yeah.
Okay, so for your lines here, what's your approach for this one? Like, are you like very passionate about your being the homeowner, about making this vision happen?
Yes, I'm in the middle of designing the. Well, I'm in the middle of like trying to decorate the garage
Okay.
while he's talking to me.
Okay, I want you to try this. I want you to raise your eyebrows and smile. The reason why that I'm just playing around with this because I feel like if you raise your eyebrows and smile, like it'll help you brighten the read a bit more because you want to show that little determination and passion with the read that you're giving. So it's like, is it a face mask? Because if it's a real deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind and the kickers wear. Just you want to be able to make that delivery out there using your facial expression. So the more that you smile and raise your eyebrows, you can. I think you can. I think it'll work really well with the read there.
Okay.
James, my feedback is actually mostly for you. How comfortable are you with the script?
I feel pretty comfortable with it. I think some of the facial expressions I was making to get the emotions through, it was making it hard to read the screen. So
I was
stumbled.
gonna say because it seemed like it seemed like your focus was on something completely different. Like
No,
I
it
don't
was
know what
just
it was. You seemed very unfocused on what you wanted to do with the script, and you were stumbling around because of it.
yeah, it was my own fault just making it hard to read. Because
well,
the screen's on a bit of an angle from the mic, and so like
gotcha.
trying to do the little those kind of faces made me lose my place a couple times. So that was just purely me.
Okay. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, do what you can to just to try to stay on
Right.
it, because I mean, you had the inklings of a character there, and you did have some kind of choices, but because you were getting distracted by that, it was throwing off your choices.
Yeah.
So, do what you got to do to kind of focus up a little bit in there, and then give us a good solid read from the top whenever you guys are ready.
Sorry, one more thing, James. Is the script very far away from you?
It's about at full arm's reach, fingertips touching the screen.
Okay. Try using your finger. Find the lines there. It'll help you with prevent from stumbling. That'll help.
Yeah,
Give it a try.
absolutely. It can't hurt.
Mhm.
All right, you ready, Roddy?
Yep.
Alrighty. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to the house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's the deal breaker, I could always switch it to the one bar kind.
Uh,
Like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available for as low as 49 bucks a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Oh, come on. The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet though. Throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holders. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right, opening it up to you guys. What did you think of that read?
The second take, I really enjoyed that one. It was more of that one. Roddy, really good on you for having that technique that I showed you. It really definitely shows when I'm listening to you.
Mhm.
So really good on, because when I was listening to you, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, this guy's very passionate, very very well done. As for James, I really liked your approach on the reads that you did, and you did not stumble. I
I
think
didn't.
You didn't, but I do have a little bit of critique for you, James,
Okay.
especially on what you decided to do with your character, because you you were kind of more passive aggressive versus unsure.
Okay.
I think there's a concern the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values. It just kind of comes off as a little kind of, yeah, we're really not going to go for this, right? Like, so it was a little bit more of like the sinister, sort of passive aggressive delivery that I heard from you. Um, I would really prefer to hear you actually being thrown off by just how excited Roddy is. I think there needs to be more contrast there, and there could be a lot of comedy in that contrast. So you're this is
Okay.
straight man comedy, right? Like you're the normal person in this engagement. You're just a little bit less confident, right? Roddy is the weirdo because Roddy's playing that really insane. He is the ticket holder homeowner, right? So I think playing as far to the opposite of that as possible could really help out with the comedy in this. So I want you to be caught off guard by his reactions. Like you're still trying to be kind to make your point, but man, is he really pushing hard.
I actually kind of liked it on the contrast because it kind of seems that, obviously this has happened before from the script. So the whole rep, he doesn't sound scared. It kind of sounds like he's dealt with this before. So I like
Okay,
the read,
okay.
but I think you have a good point. I think either could go.
I have a very small nitpick on James. Just with the beginning, you didn't do this at the end, but at the beginning you used a lot of sounds, just, rather than it coming out through the words as much. And I would like it to be, since it is commercial land, infused with the words themselves.
Okay.
All right, one last time from the top, and then you guys will swap.
All right.
That almost rhymed.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your I said audition. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to the house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's the deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind. You know, like the kickers wear.
I think the concern is that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Oh, come on. The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to focus on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right. Thoughts on that, Reed? Go. For those of you who were here for the whole read.
One thing, Roddy, I think you killed it. Just on the first line, I noticed you were going a bit too fast, and it was kind of hard to differentiate the words. They were kind of sticking a bit too much together. So just a little bit slower on that, but the pace and your speed was good. I find towards the end.
Another one for Roddy, for your homeowner, your little tiny monologue there. um, uh, the last line, I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday. So, this is what I would put a little bit of more emphasis on screaming because it's think of I this is a method I call using color words. So basically, like, if you're happy, happy. If you're sad, you're sad. If I'm screaming, I'm screaming. But you're not screaming in the microphone for this read. But you're like pretending you're going to scream. You're getting ready. You're pumped to start screaming in the football game. You just you're revved up for that. So. Other than that, both of you and James did a really good job on your reads. Just that little one nitpick, I think, just to do a pickup for that.
Gotcha.
Anybody else agree, disagree, anything? All right, let's get the pickup, and then you guys are swapping roles.
All right, from the top or from a specific location?
Where do you want to hear it from, Brian?
Let's start with I just need to stay focused on what's important. Just pick up there.
I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on that. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
Nice. There you go.
All right, swap it up. Let us know what you think about these what choices you're going for with these characters, and then dive into your reads.
All right, the homeowner I see is obviously from the text here is a bit irrational. Doesn't necessarily have his thoughts aren't planted in reality. I mean, he's building a helmet home, but he has some childlike enthusiasm until he gets kind of broken on that last line, or second to last line of his.
For the HOA rep, we've actually been friends for a while. I want to say 5 years. So we get along pretty fine, except on Sundays. So yeah, I'm sorry, the HOA, the reps, we're not gonna approve of this this design, this helmet for your house, and it's definitely not because I'm a fan of a rival team, you know. But other
Definitely
than
not
that,
that, huh?
mhm, definitely not a
Definitely
fan
not
of
because of that.
definitely not that. You know, it's just a bit overdoing, but we are like I feel like we're pretty close.
All right.
So pretty conversational. Are
From the top,
you?
whenever you guys are ready.
You good?
Yep.
All right. What was that? There. Mm. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to the house, the neighborhood association isn't the ne- Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to the house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet, yeah, is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think their concern is that I think they're concerned that the whole helmet motif is gonna have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if it's just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Um, they're not going for the audition. um, um, they're not going for the audition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that as an accident, but I understand I won't build that helmet home. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
All
I
right,
don't
let's
know what
open
to
it
say.
up. What did you guys?
We're not done yet.
Why did I do that?
I don't know.
Complete it. That's what
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
I don't know where my brain was. Anyway, yeah. Thank you. I know. I already feel like an idiot. I appreciate it. You know what? Someone else can run this for now. I'm just gonna shut up.
All right, I've got one thing. James, I think you got to turn the gain down a little bit.
Yeah, I just did. I heard
Yeah.
on that last one that I clipped.
Otherwise, I think it was good because I think just the energy difference, or sorry, the volume difference makes a pretty big deal. So
Incredible choice to mutter, especially after what happened last year. Under your breath, it added like a level of, like it made the read very dynamic.
Yeah, I heard that. Really good.
James, remind me of your character again. What is it that you're going for?
He just super excited about the 49ers to the point, that childlike enthusiasm. Like he's just bursting with joy just to talk about this.
Okay, because what I heard was panic.
Oh, okay.
The reason that I heard panic was that is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker,
Okay.
all of those little the dragging
Gotcha.
on of sounds beforehand, that doesn't add to your franticness. It adds to panic. It
Gotcha.
screams of unsurety, right? You need to just be really confident about your responses. Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear. Right? I need you to ramp up the confidence,
Gotcha.
not the panic. Anybody else? Okay, let's try this again with 100% less interruption from me this time. Whenever you guys are ready.
The word is addition, not audition.
It's so easy to do too.
The voiceover world is getting to you.
All right. Okay. All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to the. That's what we're doing it. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think they're concerned. I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is gonna have a negative. I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is gonna have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Um, they're not gonna. They're not going for the audition. Um, they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that as an accident, but I understand. I won't build a helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try, go, Niners!
This time I got the timing correct, right?
Yes, we're done.
Okay, good, good. Opening it up. What did you guys think of that read?
James, you still sounded like not defeated, like trying to mop up a mess or something.
Okay.
That's what I gathered for the very beginning, or not the beginning. The is it the face mask? Because like similar, it wasn't like you weren't injecting the stutter or the same kind of exact like nervous attachment to it, but it was still there for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you need to slow down a little bit. I think that would add to the confidence because confident people they don't speak quickly. You know, they let their words lavish. So I think if you try and slow it down like a notch or two, I think that could really add to the overall read.
Okay.
Yes, Roddy, you might want to practice. Addition.
Addition.
Addition. Look, I get it. We've all been on the grind, and that's absolutely fantastic. And I do not blame any of you here as voice actors for wanting to say audition because we say that all the friggin' time. And we hear it all the friggin' time. But that's not what the word is. The word here is addition. So just be real careful with it. And whenever you're ready, give us another read from the top.
Are you ready? I am ready.
Give me a sec.
All right.
Addition. Addition. Okay. All right. We good. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if it's just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that as an accident, but I understand I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try go Niners!
Roddy, the defeat, the sheer utter like destroyed will you spoke that with. Tad extreme in my opinion. I think your character's more confused at that point than absolutely just destroyed, but I don't know. I'm gonna open it up. What did you all think of that read?
Roddy, I think there was one time where you just kind of like trailed off and just went way over to the mic, or way over to the side of the mic.
Yeah.
Make sure you try and like stay on the mic the whole time. But otherwise,
Right.
I think it was pretty alright. And what Michael said.
Yeah, the theater thing kind of kicked in. I don't know.
No worries.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yeah, I think the feedback on this one was really, really minor. So, why don't we go ahead and take it from I just need to stay focused on what's important. So the last sentence of the second to last homeowner line through to the end.
Okay.
And just Roddy, you're not crushed, you're confused.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try go Niners!
All right, what'd y'all think of that one?
I like the I don't know what to say part. That was a different different approach on that one. So yeah, I definitely would use that one. And yeah, just that for James, you've got that motion going where you're like, you know what, this is where it is, but you know what, I'm not giving up. So you have that tone where when I'm listening to it, and then you just go Niners.
Yeah, I was actually reading that. I just need to stay focused, kind of hands on hips, chest puffed out, almost that silly scene where the whole background fades away and it's like zoomed in, that kind of
Yeah.
I just
okay.
need to stay focused on what's important. Yeah, I think just turning up the
Get that,
theatrics there's always fun.
like, get that anime protagonist
Oh
speech going.
yeah, like leading into the friendship speech.
Yes.
Anyway,
I just need to focus on what's important now. Screaming my lungs out.
all right. I think that's it, right? You guys did both reads?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Then I think we're good to move on. So up next is Hayden RD.
You just call me Hayden.
Hayden. Okay. Up next is Hayden and Brian. Hayden, you're going to be the homeowner. Brian, you're going to be the HOA rep. Whenever you two are ready, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
RD are my last two initials. So. Anyway,
All right. Well, just
Brian.
go ahead and let us know what you think about your characters, and then got it. RD. I'll keep it straight.
So just explaining my approach on this. Okay. So I was thinking HOA rep, he's more like, he's being very nice and he's trying to be, very reasonable, but trying to get to the point, like it's like, oh, yeah, I understand, but here's the problem. So just, trying to explain it to this client that it's not going to work because of this, but just kind of bouncing back and forth, trying to like explain to him you can't really do that. So
Yeah. I've got one main idea that I want to drive home with the homeowner, and it's that he is as over the top as his ideas are. and I want to make sure that in the parts that are, you know, uh, have emotion, I want to make sure that I really dial it up a few notches that than the normal person would.
Okay, ready to go?
I am.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if it's just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Yeah, they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Right, go Niners!
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of that read?
Hayden, I didn't get over the top for the first half of the read, but then like at the end you really brought it back with the screaming my lungs out on Sunday, try go Niners. Like I felt that like over the top enthusiasm, but I think if you're going for over the top, you could have put in a little bit more of that in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for a bit more of like a ramping, so like as it progresses, because I don't think there's much emotion to put into the first half for the homeowner, or at least in the first line.
Not gonna lie, for the season ticket prices, I got a little ad ready from that.
Yeah,
It turned salesy. It turned salesy. Yeah, and also, you leave the direction to everybody else. That's a violation of the Dan rule, good sir.
Oh.
Right, I didn't go over the rules. Okay, real quick overview, just because you broke one of them, so it's okay. There's nothing major right now. You get one free pass. All right, so 3 rules: Dan rule, Nephilim rule, Alex rule. They're named after people who would attend the workouts here and have broken these rules enough to actually make them. So the Dan rule states that when you are up to perform, you do not critique yourself whatsoever. You leave your critiques to the people who are directing you. It's also a point of professionalism. I mean, you wouldn't get hired for a job, then the director say, all right, you did a great job, and you immediately pop on and said, no, I sucked here, here, and here. What are you going to make, what are they going to think? So it's all about sticking to, it's just, we need you focused on just your choices and just your decisions. If you got that feedback and you internally agree, cool, make some adjustments. The Nephilim rule states you do not apologize for your reads, not before, not during, not after. If you make mistakes, whatever. That's why there's an entire career path for editors in the industry. You're perfectly fine. And the Alex rule, which you already caught yourself on, which was, I'm very happy to see, it warms my heart, states that energy is a terrible direction and should never be used here. It is too broad, it is too generic, and it doesn't give either the actor nor the director anything specific with which they can modify a read. It's the equivalent of saying, just give me something different. I mean, it's sure. I mean, yeah, I can hit that. We can give you something different. Try to look for specifics as much as you can. It's more difficult, but it's way more worth it. Anyway, back to the reads. Yes. And yes, Alexander Reese here is the reason for the Alex rule. He is the one it's named after. That's why I posted that.
It's great to be in the presence of a celebrity.
Yeah. But yes, so the $49 a game, I'm gonna agree with Roddy, became completely ad ready. You're trying to throw out a good idea to quell the conflict, right? Like this is your best suggestion. So come on, it's almost $49 a game. Come on, I've paid way more for them, right? You're the fan, so be more dismissive with it. Like, come on, it's not even a big deal, right? You're gonna save money. But anyway, opening it up to anybody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely kind of at the beginning of this, you are so confused. Why would this guy possibly think that not building a helmet is a bad idea? Like, why that doesn't compute. Like, you are in the stadium, your shirt's off, your chest is painted, you are just a diehard 49ers fan. Like, the idea that they're like saying no to you is just foreign. So really play up that confusion and like really try and change up your tactics as he's trying to tell you no. So it's like, oh well, if it's not about this, well then, oh, what about this? Think of those tactics, and try to like really, no, we got to build this thing. This is gonna be great for the neighborhood, right? And then for the HOA rep, there is no way in hell you're letting this guy do this. So you got to bring down the business and like really mean it. I think definitely kind of tripping up over a couple of words, maybe kind of stop your confidence in that, but like really play up the confidence. Like you're trying to be nice about it, but like there is no way in hell you're letting this go through. So just kind of you know make
No,
sure you mean business with him.
no, thank you. I'm gonna do a different approach for this one on the next one.
Sounds good.
Then go for it from the top whenever you guys are ready.
Ready, Hayden?
Ready.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one kind, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear. I can always switch it.
Oh, go ahead.
I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident, but I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
Alrighty then. Opening it up. What did y'all think of that? Always gotta
I
leave
like the
some silence.
physicality you added, Brian, because like I heard it. I was like looking down for a second, and then for I don't know what to say. I was like,
Mm.
ooh, and I looked up and you had like your hand like on your face. I was like, oh, that's good because I felt that in my bones. I think I could have heard more comedy from your end, like in the beginning. I don't know how to
Yeah, I
best
stumbled
describe
again.
it. Okay.
Dan rule violation.
Yep.
Anything else? Push-ups now.
I think comparatively it was an improvement. But that's really all I got. I feel like mostly what's been said has already been said. I would be echoing otherwise, but on both your ends, more of it was you know, chiming in that your characters were more seeable this time around, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
And piggybacking on the hand on your the pose, I heard it too. I can appreciate that. Body language helps a lot on both sides.
It most certainly does. It most certainly does. Hey, Hayden, something I forgot to ask, and I really meant to. How much experience in voiceover do you have?
I am a hobbyist.
Okay.
I had an injury that stopped me from doing it. I started 3 years ago,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to get back into it. I've been doing
Okay.
it for about a month on now.
Okay. Okay. All right. When at any point between those times, did you do any like acting classes, voiceover courses, anything like that?
Not specifically for voiceover, but I have
Okay.
done
Okay.
acting classes and like drama classes and such.
Cool. All right, cool. Because I can see that there's definitely a sense of scene in your delivery. It just I think you need to develop that a little bit more. And what I mean by that is you really need to see yourself in the shoes of this person who's super stoked about just talking about the 49ers. Like they just get to do that, right? Like they don't see this as the HOA rep coming and telling them to not do something. They see it as an opportunity to gush over their team. Like this is their team, right? So, what are some things in your life that get you really excited to talk about? Mine's pretty obvious, but what are some things for you that like when you hear somebody talking on the side of the road about that thing, you're inclined to stop and maybe even butt in and make a comment?
Hockey.
Hockey? Perfect. So that drawing on that is how you should talk about the 49ers here. So
Okay.
whatever your favorite hockey team is or whatever your favorite division league, excuse me, I'm not into sports ball. Um, whatever it is that you like most about hockey. And Mike, we can actually chat
Are you from
afterwards.
Calgary?
Yeah.
I'm from Calgary too. Well, I live
Really?
in Calgary. Yeah, small world.
Oh,
Nice.
and you guys are
Uh,
paired up for a read. What do you know?
So funny. Oh my gosh.
I've actually got 2 jerseys in here.
Oh, look
Oh,
at
nice.
that.
Yeah, no,
Is
I've
that a
got my thing
Ginla?
all. Pardon?
Is that a Ginla?
No, that's a Gaudreau one. Actually,
Oh,
there is an
okay.
Iginla. There's a signed Iginla jersey at my gym that I'm trying to buy off of them.
Okay, cool.
But
Sorry, I
it's
didn't mean to
funny
go off topic
because
there.
it's the gym, and I'm in Victoria right now, so it's at a
Gotcha.
Victoria gym in BC. So I
Okay.
don't know why they have it, but I'm trying to buy it off them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, you should really bring that engagement, that kind of emotion to your homeowner for this next read.
I can do
So
that.
I want you guys to start from the top whenever you two are ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can only switch it to the 1-bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property value.
If this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going to. They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Right, go Niners.
All right, opening it up. What did y'all think of that one?
I liked it.
The best, yeah, the best so far. That was really good. There was, like just I feel like new characters just stepped in, and we're having that same conversation. We're like in a parallel universe. Like just you guys were really into that moment. I think that was great. All jokes, no football joke, no football jokes intended. You guys took the ball and ran with it, and with the insight he gave you last turn, I think that was great.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It was really well done, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My one minor nitpick with that is that Brian, you still seem really uncomfortable with that first line.
I'm not sure why. Not sure
Like
why.
it just seems like that's really throwing you off. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, you could sort of play that off a little bit if you wanted to. You could be like maybe he's reading it off of a piece of paper or seeing it on the
Oh.
screen in front of him, right? Like all you know is that like you just need to deliver the bad news that the request has been denied. Maybe you didn't know right from the get-go exactly what it was. And that could be played off that way. But
Okay.
um,
Yeah. Sure.
I think though the improvement that you guys gave to that last read was really phenomenal, and I think it's time for you guys to go ahead and swap roles.
Really fast
Okay.
before we swap into
Yeah,
talking about
I would
the I had
definitely
one.
agree. Time to swap. I would say if you were to practice this again, Hayden, that sort of last sort of introspective speech, think about what happened. What actually happened that the fire marshal ruled it as an accident? Come up with a story in your head and like really kind of like, oh god, like no, it was an accident. But just kind of like think about that.
Sorry, Jorge, what did you have?
Oh, almost very like parallel to what was just said, but like yeah, the fire marshal ruled that as an accident. Yeah, you made the choice earlier, and I wanted to like hear it a couple more times to see like how I felt about it. But the flat delivery, I don't know why it didn't do it for me on the last one. But I think so. They nailed it on the head when they're like think about what happened, and maybe that can add to that as well. So maybe still keep it flat, but really think of something horrifying. I don't know.
Can we try that again one more time then?
From
Maybe
the
just
top?
from they're not going for the addition.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Or we can do from the top. I like both.
Let's just go ahead and take, again, we have to be mindful of time. So let's just go ahead
Yep.
and take from they're not going for the addition.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll go through to the end. We'll give you all that.
All right. They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. Throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Right, go Niners.
Yay, nay, huh? Good, bad? What'd y'all think?
Yay.
Yay!
All right, we
fire
got a
marshal
yay.
Ruled that an accident.
Yeah, suddenly it's like
That was perfect.
flashbacks to the war. The fire marshal ruled that an accident. All right. Whenever you guys are ready, swap it up. Let's hear it. Again, overview of your character choices, and then jump in.
Okay.
You want to go first, Brian?
Oh, sure. Homeowner. Basically, I'm just hype and I'm just so excited. But it's like, what's the problem? But the problem solution. And just very determined to reach the goal when trying to get to this point.
For the Hoa rep, I really want to try sort of more of a passive-aggressive read, but still kind of that.
Okay, don't tell us what you want to try.
reluctance.
Tell us your choices. What are you going
sorry.
for?
I'm
Are you-
going to try a more
No.
passive-aggressive.
You're not going to try.
I'm going to read more passive-aggressive.
There you go.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Exactly. When we ask for choices, we ask for choices, not attempts.
I'm going to read passive-aggressive, but
There
try
we
and
go.
still keep the same sort of. I can't think of the word, like reluctance.
Okay. Yeah, reluctance works. Whenever you guys are ready from the top.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep, ready.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on the property values.
Well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition. Especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build a helmet dome. Throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think? Okay, I'll start. Brian, your delivery of this homeowner, I'm going to give you the exact same thing that I said to James. You sound panicked. You sound like you're caught off
Okay.
guard, like deer caught in the headlights. You need
Okay.
to be really confident with this. If you're excited, if this is cool for you, like
Okay.
you've got to really play that on. You got to lay that on. Just oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear, right? Like
Okay.
you're genuinely offering solutions to what you think the problem really is. When the problem
Mm-hmm.
is that you're going to build the dang thing in the first place. Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing that. So no, thank you for catching that.
yeah, yeah, you're. We need less panic and we need more of bargaining, like positive, almost naive bargaining, right? Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just this little
Mhm.
change. It'll totally work. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
Okay. I'm gonna put a smiley face next to it. Just
Please, please do, because yeah, we definitely don't want panicked with this homeowner. We want just like yeah, gung ho on their
Okay,
choice.
sounds good.
And Hayden, I really think that you could lean in a lot more if you're going for passive aggressive. I really think you can lean in more to the passive aggressive because right now it's pretty moderate. You're going for like a middle of the road style of read. That's kind of how it's coming off. I'm not getting a whole lot of this major passive aggressiveness. So like, what are some of the specific things that piss you off about this other person? If we're going to talk passive aggressive.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
They're a 49ers fan.
Okay, so that's what pisses you off about them.
No,
Okay.
no.
Uh, no,
Um,
that could absolutely be the case. That could absolutely be the case. And if that is the case, you just need to you need to paint it that way. So when you say 49ers, like you can have some disgust on that. Like the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet
yeah.
is not such a
Maybe
good
we're in
idea.
Missouri. Maybe we're in Missouri.
But yeah, you need to answer for yourself. Like, what is it specifically that pisses you off about this character or interacting with this other character, and where in the text does that come up? So you can sort of paint the passive aggressiveness because that's where the anger is really going to be focused on. Is it just the fact that they don't get it? Like you've dealt with them before and you know that they're like any of your suggestions are not going to go through until you rip the band-aid off? Or is it something other, something else? Is it something more specific? Just I need something.
Okay.
Right now it's just kind of like middle of the road. Yeah, I'm not really liking this decision. Yeah, I'm not really liking this decision. I need more like, yeah, you're a 49ers fan. That's there might be some problems if you continue with what you're doing, right? Like that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, what I'm getting from the homeowner is three different characters come to mind. Captain Zeph from Futurama, Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony, and King Julian from Madagascar. And what I'm bringing about them up is like that confidence, like 110%. My idea is awesome because my team's awesome, and I'm here to support them. And just kind of you're being professional, but you're also showing your fandom and your vision in. I'll be honest with you, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what this thing is that he's wanting to build or make. I don't know, I don't know what a geodesic is, but back to the point. And he's wanting to convey that and have it sync up with that kind of personality. So those are just my thoughts. If it helps at all, just the confidence of, I want this to stay because I'm passionate about this.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Whatever you guys are ready from the top.
Yeah, okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the edition. Especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming the lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of that one? Was there more confidence? Was there more passive aggressiveness?
I
A
felt the
lot more
smile in
confident.
your first homeowner read, Brian.
Huh?
I said I felt the smile from your first homeowner read.
Oh,
much,
thank you.
Much better
Thank you.
confidence with that one.
Thank you. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try a different approach on the first line, and that really helped pick me up on the flow as I kept reading the lines. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that was consistent. That's pretty much what I was thinking and what I was seeing was having that energy just going with you and
I'm sorry, that what?
the energy. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Excuse me. The charming aspect, the tone, going. Yeah, we're just all over the place tonight.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
EA Sports.
Okay, I'm working on it.
But no, I know what you mean. Thank you.
All right. We're good now. Anybody else? Anything else? So, Hayden, what were you passive aggressive about this time?
Kind of a mix of things. Sorry.
Okay,
kind
that's
of a
why I
mix of
didn't
things.
really hear it.
There were two things. I wanted to put emphasis on the 49ers and also just the fact that they're going to desecrate the community
Mhm.
with that thing.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to come off as a dick, but I really didn't hear it all that much. The read didn't change a whole lot from the last time. I'm glad that you have a more clear image, but you really need to paint it more. Like you need to turn that up just a little bit more. Like I want to hear you be sick of dealing with this person and their garbage, right? Like that needs to be really, really prominent.
Okay.
So, let's see. Time-wise, where are we? Okay, we're at about the 2-hour mark. Let's just go ahead and give us one more read from the top, and we'll move on.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers do.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the edition. Especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that as an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming the lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
Okay. Brian, you did this both of the last times you read, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday. You said screaming the lungs out on Sunday
Yeah.
for both times. So,
Yeah. Okay.
be real careful in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden, that was better. There was some more aggression there. That was definitely painted throughout the words. I noticed it a bit more. So, good on you. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? Cool. Moving right along. Cassidy, you are our next homeowner, and Mike, you are our next HOA rep. So whenever you guys are ready, give us an overview of what you're thinking for your characters, and then let's hear the reads.
So I am the HOA rep. I'm going to be professional, try and be non-confrontational, but also uncomfortable at the same time, because I know things need to go the homeowner association's way, even though this guy is kind of unreasonable. So I got to push out the info, even though I know he's going to keep giving me pushback.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my character, someone who's like, they're of course very cheerful and a massive 49ers fan, and I'm getting the vibe that they're a little oblivious at times.
All right, I like it. Whenever you
maybe
two are ready.
more than a little.
From the top.
All right, you ready, Cassidy?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property value.
Oh, well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Go Niners!
All right, let's open it up. What did you guys think of that read?
House owner. Homeowner.
House owner?
Yes?
What are you actually a fan of? Like, taking out the whole football thing.
Oh. Well, there is a video game that I like.
So, what I'm going to need you to do is ignore the whole 49ers thing and pretend it's the video game.
Okay.
Because that'll add on, that should be able to add on to the excitement that you want to deliver.
Yeah, I was kind of trying not to go too over the top, because, like, when I'm actually excited, my voice goes a little bit too high for a role like this.
Nah,
Hey,
that doesn't matter.
Cassidy,
That's
a violation of the Dan rule.
Nah.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Because you're prejudging your read before you even go for it. It's okay. I mean, I want to hear you get really excited. I actually think that would really work, especially with where Mike is with his read. I think the contrast between you allowing yourself to turn it up that way, and where Mike is just kind of like, yeah, no, he's kind of like, it reminds me of the boss from Office Space a little bit with his read. You know, like, yeah,
I'm gonna
if you
need
don't
that
do that,
report
that'll
on
be
Monday.
great. Yeah. I think let's hear that. I would love to hear you go like really tap into that excitement. I mean, if you get a little uncomfortable, I I think that's kind of a fun place to be in general because you really do push the boundaries of your reads. I think that contrast would actually be really fun. Don't hold yourself
To
back, Cassidy. You
Okay.
have this. You have this in the
to go
palm
off
of your
of
hand.
Yeah,
All right.
I think the read of the homeowner, I think their disposition um should like I think it makes the Hoa rep uncomfortable with
Yeah.
that kind of um disposition. So
Yeah,
we should
and I
really
think.
hear that.
Sorry, go
Just
ahead.
go at it. Just go crazy.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
think it's super important that we bring that energy. Oh no, engagement
Mhm.
and excitement and uncomfortable engagement and
There we go.
uncomfortably inducing vibes. There we go.
Good
Bringing
The
saved it
vibes.
smooth. All right. Bringing that to the fire marshal ruled at an accident bit. Just like uh, like you really need to like make the HOA rep like at a loss for words.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they follow up with I don't know what to say. Like, really give them something to make them stumble. Why would they say I don't know what to say in response to what you just said? You have to really sell that there.
Also, Jorge, you might want to turn up your gain a little bit more. Coming in a little quiet.
Understood.
All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments, anything? All right. Whenever you two are ready, from the top.
All right, I am ready. Are you ready, Cassidy?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if this is just about money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
Don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
All right. Opening it up. What did you guys think of that read?
Off the rip, just stark improvement from the last
Mhm.
one. I think there's a lot of like we can go further, but this is like a big jump. I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think I can. I want more from the fire after the fire marshal ruled that an accident. I just
Make-
maybe I'm just craving more from it. Like you really really make the HOA rep like I don't know. Just like I think maybe this is just my direction, but like maybe something could just be like really just get. We mentioned it earlier. Get dramatic with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cassidy, I liked where you were with your speed and your emotional engagement with this one. I think that gave Mike a lot more to work off of. But yeah, when you get to that line, throughout human history, I want you to be like, suddenly this is the heroic, like, the heroic monologue, throughout human history. The small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder, right? Like the comedy in that being that you're just an excited fan talking like you're some philosopher, right? Like I would love for you to turn that into just this like very almost showy theatrical read that kind of devolves into screaming my lungs out on Sunday. Anybody else?
Yeah, we had someone Hellfire in chat had said, I'd love to hear the small-minded part be a bit rantier. And then with what you just said, I was just trying to piece together, try to figure out the words of how I wanted to convey that. But yeah, it's almost as if you're you have this epiphany, this realization of this is how you feel about this, and you're suddenly passionate about it, and yeah, you're just starting to pick up that soapbox a bit. Um, to express how you feel about it and why you're passionate about it, and yeah, that pretty much just supporting that.
Also like how Mike's using the body gestures to help convey emotion.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, let's hear it one more time whenever you guys are ready.
All right, from the top. I am ready. Are you good, Cassidy? I did not. Are you ready, Cassidy? I might not have heard you.
I'm ready.
Gotcha. No worries. I was just making sure my audio wasn't going out. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not a good idea.
Face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
Think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values?
Well, if it's just about the money, they don't need to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Marshall ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the Helmet Dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
Okay. I don't know about you guys. I love that whole thing. I thought it was absolutely fantastic from top to bottom. I'm going to open it up. What did you all think?
Perfect. I almost heard the startup of that music, that they start up when someone's about to give that speech. What was it? Okay, throughout human history.
Insert you
Yeah,
say
so it was
run from
great.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
that-
That one line has got to be more showboaty. It's got to be like a pick me up, like a, throughout. It's just got to go up.
I did that
But I think-
exact hand motion when I did mine.
It just works.
To be or not to be.
The hallmark of a dramatic speech.
Right. Okay, so then, Cassidy, just do that second to last homeowner line one more time, and then we'll go ahead and swap roles.
Ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the Helmet Dome. You know, throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
Awesome. All right. What do you guys think? Yay? Nay? Good? Yeah?
I think it was better. But that part where you say, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday, you should transfer that energy to, I just need to stay focused on what's important. I think if you kind of transition through that, if that makes sense. Oh, did I?
You did.
Yeah.
You said energy.
I didn't even notice.
It slips its way in there. You'll never know it's there until it's too late.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Whenever it comes out of your mouth, you'll see there will be some responses in the chat.
Just take what you did for which is screaming my lungs out and put that for the whole sentence. And I think it will. The rest of it was really good.
So, Cassidy, how are you feeling? Are you a little overwhelmed right now, or are you okay?
Feeling pretty okay.
Awesome. Okay. So then, yeah, I would love to hear the just building up some of that drama on throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder, right? Like I need to hear that lift in the drama of the scene. If you can do that, I think with the rest of it, it'll be absolutely just a really fun read.
Hey, do you just want me to do that sentence?
Yeah.
Or those two?
Yeah, just those
Okay.
2 sentences.
Throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
All right, we got some thumbs up, which means I think we're good to go ahead and swap roles. So, Mike, you will be the homeowner, and Cassidy, you'll be the HOA rep. So go ahead and let us know what your thoughts and ideas are on these characters, and then give us a read.
All right. I am a fanatic fan that is just confused why this HOA rep won't let me do what the hell I want to do. Like, come on, man. And then I get defeated, and then do the epic speech at the end.
I'd be going for thinking about. I totally lost my train of thought for a moment. No worries. Basically, like, the customer service person who's really trying to keep it all together, but they're also really awkward and they don't know how to handle this exactly.
That's perfect. I love it. All right, whenever you guys are ready, from the top.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the 1-bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about money, then they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are always available as low as $49 a game.
They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
The fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. Throughout human history, the small-minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
I don't know what to say.
Try go Niners!
That final exchange was pure gold. Just go ahead.
I
Guys.
actually,
You didn't know what to say.
it caught me so off guard.
It's perfect.
Exactly.
It's perfect. It's so good.
That wasn't acting. That was doing.
Yeah.
I was literally playing Yusei Run alongside when he started the speech at the end. And it worked so perfectly together.
Also, like
Yeah.
small
You know
thing,
what,
but rolling the R was inspired. Very good.
Yeah.
Screaming. Unique, super unique.
Go ahead, Cassidy. What were you gonna say?
I also had some epic music playing in my head while I read that speech when it was my
yes.
turn.
I love it. Go ahead, Mike. What were you gonna say?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, you weren't gonna say. You started talking and then you just stopped talking.
I don't even remember what it was. I don't know what to say. All right.
Hey, honestly, I'm gonna say it. You guys did an absolutely fantastic job. Like, you guys genuinely knocked it out of the park. And I am good to go ahead and move along. I think you guys did really a fantastic job. Mike, way to play up that scene. Just adding in the roll and the lifting of the arm, all that inspired. And Cassidy, your timing on that was just perfect. It was perfect. I don't know how else to describe it. It was perfect.
I was genuinely reacting like
Yeah, and
like
that
it
worked.
took me a minute to get myself together.
Yeah, and that absolutely worked. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Congrats, guys! You knocked it out of the park, man. Jorge, are you ready to follow that up?
Well done, Cassidy.
I mean, like, I guess. Oh man, I can do it. It's all good. That was so good.
It really was. All right. Well, we're up. I'm going to be the homeowner, and you're going to be the HOA rep. So whenever you are ready, let's hear it.
Do we want to go into character?
Oh yeah, that's
choices?
right. Yeah, that's of course.
I mean, if you want.
Well, I mean that's what I asked for. So go ahead. Tell us about your HOA rep.
All right. My HOA rep is super anxious. Starts off really anxious about the confrontation. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but they also have like a really low patience for this whole thing. Very easily like confused by like, wait, why are you just not agreeing with me? I've come out all the way here.
Okay. So my homeowner is definitely going to be like the almost distracted, totally bought into his own ideas kind of fan. Like completely locking absolutely everything out. Like can't understand why anybody else would think differently. I mean, it just makes sense.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, so about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind. You know, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if it's just about money, I don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Yeah, no. They're not going to go for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Okay, the fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday! Woo!
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners! Yeah, I don't care about our neighbors. I don't care. Tell them to stop playing their TV at all hours of the night.
Really getting into the character there. I like it.
Sorry, I tried turning away and turning down the gain, but I don't know if that was enough. Oh, opening it up. What do you guys think? Feedback? Anything?
Michael, what did you do? Stick your head out the window into their window?
I mean, I am on a shared wall right now, but I don't really care. I'll be honest, I don't care.
Yeah. And this character probably does not care that they have neighbors who are going to be bothered by their helmet dome.
All right, any feedback, changes, anything?
So for the HOA rep, they're not going for the addition. I think that line was read a little fast, I think. So
Okay.
just slow it down a little bit.
Cool.
I have some comments. I finally made it. I'm late as always. So, Mike, I love that you shouted, but it was a big surprise. I think I mean, the character seemed enthused, but I feel like you can hint earlier, foreshadow earlier that you are like a huge super fan that's going to let loose in a moment. You're kind of keeping it all under control
Okay. Okay.
throughout the conversation until you finally let loose, so it doesn't come out of nowhere. And for the homeowner, I want you to react more to Mike. He gave you so much to work with, especially when he shouted. I was waiting for the sort of like, I don't know what to say, because the
Okay.
reaction was sort of like it was it didn't feel like it came off the page for me. He gave you so much to work with. I would have loved to have heard you actually be confused by like why are you shouting right now? So otherwise it was great. It was started off very strong on the homeowner side. So just make sure you're listening to each other, especially in a partner read.
Cool.
Okay. I will give more indication that I could lose it at any moment.
Yeah, and I will also act more confused. I tried to put a little in there, but I can bring it more.
So just to clarify, that's just one idea of what you can do. But what I mean to say is that I wasn't hearing a genuine reaction to what Michael was
Okay.
feeding you. So just, be actively listening and allow the reaction to happen regardless of what appears on the page or what you have planned even.
Sure. All right, ready to go.
I'm ready.
Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. The neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can only switch it to the one bar kind like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, come on. If it is just about the money. They don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available for as low as $49 a game.
They're not going to go for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Come on, man. Look, the fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. Throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday. Woo!
I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners! I have an angry producer right over here. Just like that. Fine, opening it up. What'd y'all think?
Loud.
Yes, that's the point.
I think on that last one where you say "Go Niners," you sound almost like feral. Like you're gonna like eat him instead of like proud. I wasn't here for your guys's like what's it called? What you wanted to do, but what were you going for on the last kind of two sentences?
I was going for my character is just he let it all go because he's just such a fan of the 49ers and he's kind of still in that mode. Like he's basically there. He's already watching the game on the screen.
Just
And there's like no
completely pumped
difference.
up.
Yeah, he's totally pumped up.
Nice. That definitely came through.
You said that was too feral?
Well, I didn't say it was too feral. I just said it sounded like absolutely feral.
Okay. That's fair. Anybody else? Anything else? Any changes? Any alterations?
I adored
No,
it.
please keep it as it is. We are shipping that to the client.
I liked the smolder. It's light. Fine, won't change anything, but I was like, that's
Mike, did I give my character more of the build up that you were looking for?
Yeah. So it was wonderful seeing, clearly an enthused character. Also, I don't know if you're internalizing that just made you have a little more fun overall, but the way you took, like, okay, fine, I won't build it. Like he's a little deranged. which I kind of like. I mean, if you're a fan, if you're so invested in a team that you're gonna build a fucking helmet house, I feel like you do have to be a little deranged. So it fit in perfectly. He's just, he's a lovable super fan. I could see you with like the beer helmet on with the 2 beers on the side, and you're just like 49ers geared out, and the end you're just like, woo, let's go, baby. And so it all worked. And the whole premise of this piece, right, is the comedically speaking, is the straight man versus obviously the comedy. So the
Mhm.
comedy's coming from the fan who's insane, and then the counterpoint is obviously the very buttoned up HOA. So it worked. You guys played very well off each other in that regard. I feel like the HOA guy could be even more dry, but I wouldn't belabor it. That's just a personal choice. So I liked it all the way through.
I thought of that choice. I'd probably go for another read, like different interpretation. But yeah, they're both fine.
No, but I think it still works. It's just a decision. I like the way yours. He's kind of more. He's more meek. He's like, I don't, I'm not sure. He's a lot more just like doesn't want to step on toes, which I kind of still like. So it worked all the way around. It was solid.
Heard. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, so if I'm not hearing any like major changes or try it again, I guess we're swapping roles, aren't we? All right,
Let's
okay.
do it.
So my HOA rep is going to be the unfortunate dude put in the situation of trying to stop this guy. He actually has no idea what he's going in for or what he actually has to stop. He just knows that he has to do it. So this is going to be totally raw and uncomfortable for him from moment one.
I like that. I'm playing up the homeowner as like big himbo energy, like just not getting it and really playing up the like sure, the problem must be this because and like maybe dumbing myself down a little bit. Also getting the energy of like the
Getting the
D&D
what?
nerd. Okay, getting the feeling from the read that that the
Rodney
D&D
just pops in.
the D&D nerd who is like, I want to make the attic like a big like I want to turn into like a little castle and have like a big table with a TV in it with sound system and stuff. And they're like someone's saying no. And playing it like it's not that big of a project, but it's a giant helmet. So
I
All
almost
right.
thought you were going to say that the giant helmet would be a D20 instead. I'm like, this is
a
the
giant
exact same thing, just given a couple of different names. It's the exact same thing.
Massive D20.
I would love a giant D20 outside my house. Anyway,
All right. Well, shall we do this?
let's go.
All right. Hey, about the plans you submitted for your addition to your house. Yeah, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a 2-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Oh, is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the 1 bar kind, like the kickers wear.
I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Oh, well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niners season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
um, they're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Hey, the fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build the helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to focus on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners!
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think?
I feel like the part that we've been kind of concerned about with the oh, I'm not always fantastic with verbiage unless it's been scripted or something, but um the part about the season tickets are only $49, it being a bit commercial-esque, I felt like that was on the verge of it, but then George your George recovered it very well, and the stress of If it's about the money, I really saw a lot of personality in that. That was great. So yeah, words like that were stressed really wonderfully. Mhm. And Michael, great with the I'm here to inform you, and I know you're not gonna like this, and I hate this part of my job, but yeah, no, yeah, that was great. That was spot on, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I also really love the direction you took with it, Michael. Just I just showed up to this house and I just got the paperwork. I don't know why I'm here. I'm just gonna go talk to this guy. You played that off very, very well. So, and Jorge George, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, but
Stick with
yeah,
George.
I
Yeah.
love the. Oh, what was that?
Oh, George. Let's just go with George.
George? Okay. George, yeah, the whole fire marshal bit, that whole paragraph, I thought you were just really great with that. Just the changes and shifts in your emotional space where it was just like, go about to launch into this rant about the, human history and the transgressions that have conspired against you. And then you're just like, okay, gotta keep my composure, focus on this. Sunday. And it's just like I love that. It was just like this nice balance of unhinged with trying to keep it under control. It was very well done.
Thank you.
So no changes from me. I thought that was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to second what Andrew said in that for the homeowner, that was definitely your highlight, the peak of the scene for you was when you launched into your speech. I totally agree. It was like your voice kind of broke from the disappointment, and then you launched into this speech and you were about to lose it, so it was great. Bravo there. And then Michael, I feel like my only comment for you is take all of your instincts that you had about the character and just lean into them even more. So you telegraphed
Okay.
that
Okay.
he's not aware of the scene, like he's not aware of what the helmet is. Like he just was reading it. He just looked down. At least that's what I got. That you're kind of like, that what was it? Oh, a geodesic dome in the shape of a helmet. So I could tell that you were just kind of figuring things out there. So for me, it was very subtle though, and I just don't know if it would translate if this were a radio ad,
Okay.
which I
Okay.
don't know if it is or not. But if it is, I just want you to accentuate it so it's more obvious. Don't change. I think the choices are all
Okay.
very solid, but just project them a little more,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it'll be more intelligible. Because every instinct you had, I think, was very, very good.
Okay. Let's see if I can define that character a little bit more then. See if maybe bring out specifically what I'm going for. Anybody else? All right. From the top, let's do this again. Oh yeah. Hey. Yeah. About the plans you submitted for your addition to your house, the neighborhood association thinks that maybe a two-story geodesic dome painted to look like a 49ers helmet is not such a good idea.
Is it the face mask? Because if that's a deal breaker, I can always switch it to the one bar kind, like the kickers wear.
Yeah. I think there's a concern that the whole helmet motif is going to have a negative impact on property values.
Well, if this is just about the money, they don't have to worry. Niner season tickets are available as low as $49 a game.
Uh, yeah. They're not going for the addition, especially after what happened last year.
Hey, the fire marshal ruled that an accident. But I understand. I won't build a helmet dome. You know, throughout human history, the small minded have stood in the way of the season ticket holder. I just need to stay focused on what's important, which is screaming my lungs out on Sunday.
Okay. I don't know what to say.
Try Go Niners.
All right. Opening it up. How was that one?
Bravo. I enjoyed that very much. I think Michael, that was exactly what I was hoping to hear. It was just more obvious, and so
Okay.
it was great. Uh, and you left a lot of room for, the comedy to seep through because it is a very funny piece. So great comedic timing there and letting some jokes land, which was awesome. And again, great decisions on the homeowner's part as well. Uh, so nothing to change. I liked it all. I liked it all. That's all I'll say.
Is all good. All right. Anybody else? Any other thoughts,
Yep.
changes, anything?
No, I think that was perfect. On George, you did fantastic. Like, you you know when you have those comedy drama presentations in certain comedy movies where they're speaking with that dramatic feel, and it kind of puts you in a certain place. It kind of has you with that mixed feelings of, oh, I know this is funny, but it's kind of dramatic, and I'm kind of being torn in another direction with the feelings at the same time. You had that going with the you know the fire marshal part, and you know coupled it together with the rest of it, of the dejection, and then into the I'm not gonna walk out of here without saying one more thing I have on my mind to this guy in particular. And yeah, you stood your ground on that. Very confident, very, I saw the character very well. And I liked it. Perfect.
Cool, thanks.
Awesome. Well, I mean, if nobody has any other input or any changes they'd like to hear, then I guess we can go ahead and call it for the night. We are still over time a little bit, but slightly better. But for those of you who are watching us on Twitch and maybe potentially in the future on YouTube, wherever you guys see us, all the links are down there. You know what to do. Come join us. It's a lot more fun actually being here. And let us know what you think about the whole, setting our ideas forward first. Love to know what you guys have, could take from something like that, if we should keep it going. But if there's nothing else, then I guess we will see you all next week. There will not be a workout this Saturday, but there will be a workout this coming Monday. And we've also got some fun stuff like Chill Night coming up, and there's also a poll in the Discord about a movie. You guys need to come and take a look at that yourself. Make sure to vote on that if that's something you're interested in. But we're going to go ahead and wrap the stream up here. So that does not mean that we're ending the meeting. So if you want to stick around, especially for the people who are going to be reading afterwards, you're more than welcome to stay. But for those of you on Twitch, see you next time.